Next point says about top management structure. The company composition of the board of directors, the degree of professionalization of management, and the organization structure of the company have important bearing on its business decisions. Who are there in the board of directors? What is the composition? How much qualified they are? What is their professional approach towards the business? And this goes to get the best business decisions. The board of directors sets the directions and monitors the performance of the company. Very, very important thing is board of directors. They are the directors. They are giving the direction, and then not only giving the direction, they are also monitoring the performance of the company. We all know that company has highly qualified and very, very responsible board. Definitely why? To perform, so that wherever there is lack of experience, these boards of directors can give you the best sound management structure. Sound management structure, if they give, then you are in a position to take timely decision. Timely decision making can take place when the sound management structure is there. Next thing in this is the shareholding pattern of the company also influence its functioning. Some companies are closely held, like if you say Wipro, where the promoters hold majority of the shares. This is which we are talking about, the shareholding pattern. If the promoters are holding majority of shares, and in another example can be Tata Steel Company, promoters are holding minority of the shares. See the difference. In Wipro, promoters are holding majority of shares, and Tata Steel promoters are holding minority of shares. So this definitely have an impact on the functioning of the management. Nominees of financial institution may exercise control over decision making when the financial institutions have large holding in the company. Lord Swaraj Paul could not acquire control over DCM and Escorts due to the support extended by financial institutions to the promoters of these companies. Next point says about the power structure. Another point which we are talking about is the internal factors is the power structure. Internal factor means the internal power relationship between the board of directors and the chief executive. Very, very important factor is the relationship. Boys, you should understand that wherever you are working in the organization, you must have a good and harmonious relationship. The word harmonious is telling us that we must understand each other very well. The extent to which top management enjoys the support of shareholders and employees at different level also is an important bearing on the decision making and working of the company. How much the management is thinking about the shareholders and their employees have an impact on their decision making and the working of the company. Last point says here, company image and brand equity. The image and brand equity of the company plays a significant role in raising finance, forming alliances, choosing dealers and suppliers, launching new products, entering foreign markets, etc. Always remember the image plays a very, very vital role, and image of the company plays a vital role, so that if the company wants to raise funds, the other financial institutions or banks, etc., have no problem in giving the funds to these companies. The suppliers, the dealers, have no issue in supplying raw material goods to these companies. And if these companies have good image in the market, then launching of new products does not have any problem. There is no problem for them to launch a new product in the market. Now we switch to the next topic, says about the external forces. The word external itself is telling us as those individual and groups or agencies which have a particular business and comes into direct and frequent contact in the course of its functioning. These individuals and groups are also known as stakeholders because they have a financial interest. Stakeholders are people who have financial interest in the working and performance of the particular business. They exist and operate in the organization immediate operating environment. But one should know, understand that the micro forces may not influence all the firms in a particular industry in the same manner. For example, one firm supplier environment may be entirely different from that of the another firm. Even when all the competing firms in an industry have similar microenvironment, their relative success depends on how effectively they face the micro forces. There are basic elements, or you can say, about the microenvironment which are considered as external elements or external factors. Just now we have seen the internal factors, now we consider the external factors. Now, external factors are those factors which we cannot control, the company cannot control, where we have seen that the internal factors were the factors which had a strong influence and where things were under the control of the company. But here, these are the external factors which the company is not having any control. First point, very important first point, is the customers. People, who are the customers? People who buy a product and service are its customers. Why is the company there? Company has one motive, to simply satisfy the customer. And customers may be of different types here given there in the book, like individual, household, government departments, commercial establishment, etc. For example, the customer of a paper company may include students, teachers, educational institutions, business firms, and other users of the stationery. These are the customers basically of the paper company. How can the company be successful? The company can be successful if the company is understanding the needs and the expectations of its customers. The firm can select the target group or market segment, and on the basis of various factors like profitability, elasticity of demand, dependability, degree of competition, and growth prospect, it should function. The basic risk involved here is to depend upon a single customer group. You cannot generally depend on a single customer group, and thus With the opening up of an Indian market and foreign markets, the customer is becoming more global in the matter of shopping. That means customers holds a very important place today, though they are external factors, but there is a very important point is about the customers. Number 2 point says about the competitors. Company may have both direct and indirect competitors. One must understand this. Direct competitors means the competitors who are selling the same or similar products. For example, if we say Sony TV has a direct competition with Videocon or BPL or LG or Samsung or Onida, etc. Indirect competition comes from the firm vying for discretionary income. For example, cinema house faces indirect competition from casino. Now, casino is not selling the same product which the cinema house is selling, but it is called indirect competition. And other firms, due to economic liberalization and globalization, Indian companies are now facing competition from both domestic firms and multinational corporations. Today, there is different kinds of competitors available. Maybe domestic means the country, Indian, and the multinational is many other countries are giving the competition. Third point says about the suppliers. Suppliers refers to people and group who supply raw materials and components of the company. Reliable sources of supply enable the company to carry on uninterrupted operation and to minimize inventory carrying cost. Suppliers also influence quality level and cost of manufacturing. Again, as I just said, it is very risky to depend on one customer. It is also very risky to depend on a single supplier. Maybe the strike or any other production problem with the supplier may cause interruption in the manufacturing. That means, though it is an external factor, we should not totally depend on one supplier. Therefore, it is advisable to develop and sustain multiple sources of supply. Some companies, like if you say Maruti Udyog, undertake vendor development to ensure timely and regular supply of material and parts. Next point says about marketing intermediaries or middlemen. Several intermediaries are given. Marketing intermediaries help a company in promoting, selling, and distribution its products to customers. Middlemen like agents, wholesalers, and retailers serve as a link between the company and its customers. Transporting firms and warehouses assist in the physical distribution of the product. Advertising agencies, marketing research, and insurance companies are other types of marketing intermediaries. We should understand these are intermediaries, means the middlemen. Transport, advertising agencies, marketing agencies, insurance companies, and this is very important impact. If we say country-wise retail distribution network is there for the success of Hindustan Unilever or Dabur India. We all know these companies, we have heard about these companies, but today they are successful because of the middlemen. So that means middlemen also plays a very vital role in the success of the enterprise. Last but not the least says about the financiers. The shareholders, the financiers, financial institution, the venture holders and banks provides finance to a company. Financial capacity, policies and attitudes of financiers are important factors for the company. For example, the company cannot raise funds through shares if the financiers are not risk taking. If nobody company wants to raise funds, but if there are financiers are not there who can take the risk. The financiers are people who are taking the risk. They come and say that we will take the risk of the issue of shares. Publics. Publics includes all those groups who have an actual or potential interest in the company or who influence the company's ability to achieve its objective. Media group, environment, non-government organization, NGOs and local communities are example of publics. Sometimes in examination it is just for 2 marks. What are publics? Give an example of public. We have heard the word public here, public, but we don't understand the meaning. Public here means media groups, environmentalist, non-government, that is the organization means the NGOs and local communities are called examples of publics. Media group can be used to disseminate useful information. The company can cooperate with the local people to improve the image as well as the product as to provide some benefit to the people. On the negative side, local community concerned with public health can force a company to suspend operation or to take pollution control measures. Yes, if the company is doing such thing, or because we have heard about the companies, they are throwing industrial waste in the rivers, or water pollution, or the smoke pollution, air pollution they are doing, that the local public can come up and take a stand and force them to suspend their operation or to take pollution control measures. Non-government organizations often protest against firms suspects of being guilty for child labor, cruelty against animals and damage to the nature. For example, one of the leading companies in India was attacked by the media for writing advertisements on rocks near a famous hill station. Such activities of publics can tarnish the image of the business. Yes, just to advertise, as I just said, company India was